Hey there, everybody. Today I have the Phoibos Great Wall. Now, if you follow us on social media, you've probably seen a few pictures of this. You might have seen a couple on the Phoibos website as well, although they haven't really been, overly marketing this yet. Now, this is a really funky and cool and different style of watch. $500 is your price. I'll get into the specs here in a minute. And this is the gray and blue, but if you want something even a little more vibrant or outrageous, you should check out the other colors on their website, especially the orange blue combinations. Now, when you kind of take a look at this at first, you're thinking it's a large, chunky watch, but in reality, you are looking at 42 millimeter diameter, 48 millimeter lug to lug, 14.5 millimeters thick, 200 grams total weight on the bracelet. Now there is a nice fitted rubber strap as well. And you are also getting the X1 grade Superluminova C3 on the hands, indices, and bezel marking. It says 15 layers Superluminova. Your movement is the I want to say, and I hate to say that, I want to say Miyota 9015 with so many micro brands, but this is actually another ETA 2824 standard movement. So there's a lot going on with this watch. 500 meters water resistant, of course, a sapphire crystal. It is a domed sapphire crystal. You can see that here. It is a slight domed sapphire crystal. Go ahead and drop my phone on the floor as I'm recording. Now, let's go ahead here. We'll give you a close-up look at the watch, because one of the great things about this watch is going to be that dial. Let's get a little bit more light on this here. And you can see you have that brick, in this case it is gray, you have that brick gray dial, and it very much does look like brick. It is very neat. You can see you have your sapphire domed bezel as well. Very reminiscent, if you will, of your blank paw style bezel. Your screw down crown, there's your crown guards. There is the Phoibos octopus logo. You can see, of course, you do have that big logo there on the dial as well. Now, I've been very outspoken in the past talking about that logo in particular, and I'm still not a fan of it. I'm more of a fan of it on this particular watch just because of that overall funky design. I find it more appealing on this watch than I have on some of their past releases. Now, as usual, I'm always honest here, and my biggest thing so far with this particular watch has nothing to do with the case, has nothing to do with the dial, the bezel, or anything like that. You do have a very nice and smooth rotating bezel here. Take a look here at the screw down crown. No issues with the crown, no issues with anything like that. I will say that when you're screwing down the crown here, just the back edges of the crown guards here are just the tiniest of, they're like pointy, just a little bit sharp. You can feel that, but you don't really feel it on the wrist. But I think my biggest issue is going to be this bracelet. And the reason for that, I just don't believe that this bracelet goes along with the case. You have this tank tread style bracelet. You do have your dive clasp here, your ratchet extension dive clasp, so you can extend that over a wetsuit, or if just you need that perfect fit on the wrist. And it is a very nice heavy duty clasp, and overall this is a heavy duty bracelet. I don't know, to me the bracelet feels like an afterthought compared to the style of the case, but that is just my opinion. And hey, you may be like, what are you talking about, dude? I absolutely love that bracelet on there. So that all comes down to opinion, of course. Let me go ahead here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show it to you on my wrist on the bracelet. The bracelet is unsized, and we'll talk about that, and then I'll switch it out to the rubber strap, and I'll show it to you on the rubber strap on my wrist, and then we'll talk about the rubber strap and the rest of the watch. Okay, here it is on my 7.5-inch wrist on the bracelet. As I said, I do have that bracelet unsized. You can go ahead and see how much room I have left. Very, very, very generous bracelet. This should fit up to an 8.5-inch wrist. No problem at all. Okay, here it is on my 7.5-inch wrist with the fitted rubber strap. This took me about literally 2 minutes to put on, not even. A very nice and easy to install fitted rubber. But now the difference here being is, as you saw on the bracelet is very generous in length and size and should fit a very large wrist. I have a 7.5-inch wrist. This is where it buckles on me. I only have 2 holes left. So if you have a very large wrist, this strap is not going to fit. Let me go ahead here, take this off, and we'll show you the watch a little more up close here and talk about this rubber strap. And now we can give you a look at the case back here as well. That we have the strap, or excuse me, that we have this rubber strap on instead of the bracelet. There is your helium release valve, which I know how many of you know how much I am a fan of the helium release valve. You know, the biggest thing for me is that it's just not needed for 99% of the population unless you are saturation diving. But beyond that, this is just a really, really cool watch. I really like it on this fitted rubber strap. This is the way I personally would wear this watch as opposed to the bracelet. Not only that, it's going to lighten it up. I like the look better than the bracelet for me personally, but it's going to lighten it up from that 200 grams probably down to somewhere in that 120, 130 area, so much lighter as well. This is just a really cool look and a really cool design from Phoibos. Take a look here, closer look at that dial. You can see you have that date placement down at the 6 o'clock position. So it really doesn't get in the way of any of the detail on the dial here. Let's go ahead and give you a Lume shot. No surprise here at all when this Lume is fully charged. It is absolutely insane. That X1 C3 Super Luminova that some of these brands are using these days really is a game changer when it comes to Lume. Crazy. Look at that. Just crazy. As I said, this is another really great watch from Phoibos. I have reviewed a few Phoibos watches here in the past. This one has to be the best one of them all. I really like that funky style and design. That dial and bezel are a highlight here. The case is nice and comfortable. I could do with that without that helium release valve, but it's not getting in the way of anything. For me personally, I like it on this rubber strap over the bracelet, but you may differ on that, or you may have a very large wrist, and that rubber strap, of course, is not going to work at that point. If you want to see more, click the link in the description. Take you over to watchreport.com for my written review and a lot more photos, and I'll also have the link to the Phoibos website as well. This has been a look at the Great Wall Diver from Phoibos Watches. Thanks for watching. Talk to you on the next one.